Topic 3, the planning analysis phases of the system development lifecycle. You're very welcome. My name is Maureen Neal. As before, please keep in mind what you have shared together and learned in both topic 1 and 2, as it's very relevant as we move forward here on topic 3. We're now going to take an overview look at the first two phases of the systems development lifecycle, which are planning and then analysis. You should bear in mind that this course, with its limited time, will only briefly touch on each phase, which will be enough to give you an idea on each phase to get you through the course deliverables. However, further training can be pursued if you are interested in exploring each phase in more depth. Planning. This stage is concerned with the organisation's senior management team deciding on what information systems they require, why they require them, and when they need them delivered. So what, why, and when. So let's take a look at the 5 key aspects of the planning phase. The first one is identifying the opportunity. The idea for a software project begins with a new business need which has emerged from, say, changes in the market or even changes within an organisation. So, for example, it could be a new business has been created, and we've referred in some of our examples in this course to perhaps maybe a new online-only bank in Ireland been set up. Another opportunity that might require systems development is if a company, as a result of Brexit, new business opportunities have opened up for them. So they used to only previously sell goods to the UK, but now there's more favourable terms for them selling them to France. That would be perhaps an opportunity for system development. The proposal for a new system development is presented to the IT department in the form of a systems request, which basically describes the project. The IT department will have a portfolio of projects because they come in from all different areas of the business. Only system requests with significant business justification will secure funding to proceed. The next key phase is analysing the feasibility of what the new system will do. And this stage assesses it from a technical, economic, and an organisational feasibility point of view of doing the project. So, for example, technical could be, have we got the right people with the right IT programming skills to take this new system request forward? Economic could be, can we afford to spend X amount of money to buy new servers from our 2020 budgets, which are going to be needed to support this new system? And from an organisational point of view, do we need to lease new office space to store the staff and the new servers that the new system is going to require? When the feasibility study is complete, it's the responsibility of senior management to consider whether the project should be selected for implementation. Generally, organisations have a portfolio of projects which will vary in size, risk, purpose, duration, and value to the business. Management will consider any new project proposal in the context of any currently running projects and whether the new project system idea fits in with the strategic objectives of the organisation. Once a project has secured approval and funding, then the planning phase can begin. The project manager takes formal responsibility for running the project and must gather each of the elements of the project plan. This document will describe the details of how much the project will cost, how long it will take, and the resources needed to complete the project. So in the project plan, how much will it cost? Is it going to be 50,000 to develop this new system in total? How long will it take? 2 months. So we're going to start at the end of March, so we're going to finish at the end of April. And how many people will be required? Well, 2 people full-time and 3 people part-time. Staffing the project is the next key phase. The staffing plan allocates the appropriate resources to different parts of the project based on an estimate of what's required at a point in time. So again, this particular project we're going to need 2 systems analysts, and we're going to choose Joe and Mary. Or we need 1 programmer, and Keith is going to be the guy that we're going to choose to be the programmer on this project. So putting names against the resources is really important, and making sure that they're free to do the work that's required and not allocated to other projects. Controlling and directing the project is the last key phase here. So the project manager can use a number of tools and strategies to ensure that he or she can effectively manage and coordinate the project. So for example, the project plan, it'll be documented in an application called Microsoft Project. The project team are going to meet daily from say 9 in the morning till 10 in the morning, and they'll be based in the Grafton Street office. Management update meetings will be held weekly on Thursdays. Documentation is key. It ensures that all of the project information is captured and can be shared amongst the team and with external stakeholders if necessary. Project planning tools can be used to record and share the schedule so that there is transparency as to how the project is progressing. So, what's the output of the planning phase? So each of the 4 phases will have output. So key outputs of this phase is that the project manager, the project team, and the project plan are all in place, and they really allow the project to move on to the next phase. Analysis. This stage concentrates on understanding how the existing systems and processes within the organisation currently work and what is required of the new system. If they don't have existing systems and processes and it's something new, it's really an understanding of what should they look and operate like when the new system is developed. So let's take a look at the 4 key aspects of the analysis phase. So the first one is around determining business requirements. So we spoke in topic 2 about the role of the systems analysts and users and end users, and they are key at this phase. Techniques used by systems analysts to determine requirements can include interviewing business users, using questionnaires, organising group sessions and our meetings, and it can involve real customers if they are the eventual end users of the system. The output of this fact-finding stage is a requirements document, and this will contain a high-level, non-technical description of what the new system will need to do. Sometimes it will contain things like must-have requirements and also nice-to-have or ideal requirements. So for example, 2 requirements would be the system must process payments to customers' accounts on the day they are received if it's for a new banking system. Or the system ideally will allow the customers to customise the screen colours to whatever they personally like. So you can have a combination of must-have and ideal requirements. The next stage is around creating what are called use cases. So a use case illustrates how a user will interact with the system. Each use case describes one particular scenario. So for example, the customer log-on journey step by step when they log on through the app front page. A separate use case could be the customer log-on journey step by step when they log on through the online front page. The system uses the requirements definition as a starting point to list all of the possible use cases. Discussions with the users allow him or her to describe each use case in detail and highlight any alternative courses of action which may be necessary. A complete set of use cases will describe an entire system. Use cases need to be easily understood by both the systems analyst and the user. The next stage is process modelling. So another task to be performed at the systems analysis stage is to produce a model and documentation that depicts the functional and processing requirements of the new system. Once the system analyst has collected all the processing requirements, he builds a model that represents the information gathered. The most popular type of process model is a data flow diagram. So what do we mean by a data flow diagram? So a customer provides his login ID, and when we receive it, we use it to check against our database. And if it matches what's in our database, we allow the customer to progress login. Otherwise, no login is allowed. So really, it's, I suppose, the process that his login goes through, the different processes that it hits, that some it goes through, some it fails against. So that's what process modelling is. Finally, the task to be performed by the systems analysis stage is to produce a model that depicts the data requirements of the new system. In essence, the data from the new system that will be held in the system database. And we spoke about databases a little bit in topic 1. So, for example, a new system database for each new customer of a new online bank would be that the database record for each new customer must record their name, their date of birth, their email, their home address, and their postcode. Again, all of this would be documented during this data modelling analysis phase. So the output of the analysis stage is what is called a functional design document. So the last task for the systems analyst is to create and issue a functional design document, or sometimes called a functional specification. And really, it's a very detailed written output of everything that has been gathered in the analysis stage. So that's the requirements, the use cases, the process modelling, the data modelling, and it's pulling it all together. So this document is sent to the key business users and includes details of the various business functions the system will support, the relationships between these functions, and the delivery dates to test. It's a really, really important document. Once the business users sign off this functional specification, it is then handed over to the system designers to complete the system design stage of the project.